And here's my beautiful chime. Welcome, everyone. This is Recovery Dharma. My name is Julia. I'm one of the facilitators in this extraordinary community and collective soul. And I am so happy to be here. I'd like to share with you a sentiment of metta. Metta is loving kindness. And loving kindness is one of 4 limitless qualities that we can cultivate in a Buddhist practice. And what I have done for many years is written mantras of loving kindness. As a matter of fact, I'm working on a book and putting together 365 of these sentiments of metta, so you can have them as well. But really, there's nothing special to writing mantras. It is simply a matter of trusting your imagination and allowing your creativity a voice. I paint them on little cards. This is one that a collection that I put together that we make available on our website. There are all these different cards and all of these different sentiments of metta. This one reads, "May I have thoughts that encourage. May I have thoughts that encourage." Friends, in the Spokane Sangha, we do something quite unique, and that is that we take Buddhist practices and principles and we explore them for an entire month. For the year 2026, we have gone back to the foundation of the Buddhist practice, really the first teaching of the Buddha, specifically the Four Noble Truths and the Noble Eightfold Path. Add those 2 elements together and you have the number 12, and it's just beautiful because there's 12 months in a year. And so for each month we've been exploring one of these guiding foundational fundamental principles. And for the month of August, we are exploring on the Noble Eightfold Path, wise speech. Now, there are a couple of things that I want to bring forward today. And the main theme for today, utilizing wise speech, is to explore tone, your tone of speech. And I begin with this because it is so often ignored or not even brought into our awareness that the tone of one's speech has the potential to carry such a heavy load that it can dictate so much without even a single word. The difference between saying a nonverbal word like and just change the tone. uh and you get a completely different energy, completely different meaning. So what I want to just preface with that, we're going to be exploring tone. And the second thing I want to bring forward is we're going to be looking at conditions. What are the conditions of your life that are bringing to life a particular tone? So this is a practice where we're not looking at tone as a way of judging it. Oh, the is a bad tone and the is a good tone. We're not doing that. We're simply looking at what are the conditions of my life that are dictating the what are the conditions of my life that are dictating the Look at the conditions of your life. Now, why this is so beautiful and so relevant, at least to me, um, as we're talking about recovery, is in traditional programs of recovery, the focus is so often on the maladaptive behavior, the misuse of substances, for instance. And we look at the memory of it, we look at the particular details of it, and so little attention goes to what are the conditions. Oh, we use words like trauma and history and so forth. But the Buddhist practice does something very different. It says, what's happening in your life right now? It could be the piddliest little nothing, but it's enough of an annoyance that it could activate something in your own mind and body. And before you know it, you're grasping for something to try to tame whatever unpleasant experience you're dealing with. Here's an example from my own life. This morning I went into the bathroom and two of my toilet paper rolls that I have in storage, just in one of the baskets, half of them shredded because I live with two puppies. So here are these mangled toilet paper rolls. Do you throw them away? Do you salvage? Ugh. And then, oh well, puppies. Not a big deal. But imagine that on a bigger scale. Something happens in your life. And it may not even be directly related to your trauma. It's simply something in life. And before you know it, you're uncomfortable, you're worried, you're anxious, and that temptation to return to habit energy as a means of soothing because you're human and it's important to find soothing, it just arises. And the Buddhist practice says, breathe. Come back to this moment. Do you have a thought that is encouraging? So I'd like to bring you smack dab in the middle of my life right now, what I'm holding, some conditions. So, bedhead, have not brushed my hair yet today. Okay. Rolled right out of bed because I have a child who isn't a child anymore. She's a young woman who is dealing with a very serious medical issue right now. Now, this daughter of mine is a pediatric cancer survivor. She had leukemia when she was 4 years old. And, just 30, 40 years ago, every kid who was ever diagnosed with pediatric leukemia died. So people in their 50s who had leukemia are new. People in their 40s are new. People surviving with cancer for longer terms for kids in this particular kind of cancer is new. So what my daughter is going through is all new. And so we're navigating this uncharted waters in many respects. So it's very edgy. It's very nerve-wracking because she has a strange immune system and she's having a strange immune response that is expressing itself all over her body in a terrible rash, streaks, blotches, blisters. She's so miserable. She's so uncomfortable. And today I had to do something I hoped I would never have to do in my life again. And that is, I had to call the pediatric oncology clinic just to see, just to get in touch. So I share that with you, friends, because I want to encourage you to not harbor any distorted or elevated thoughts about me, that I have the perfect life, I'm all so together, I'm so spiritual, yada, yada, yada. I just want to be very real with you that I am a human being just like all of you, and I deal with all kinds of things that cause me to be stressed, that cause me to be upended and confused and entertain distortions and so forth. One of the things that I have is a lot of years of practice. So I know um, how to treat my mind and my body without having to go to harmful habit energies. That might be one thing I have that's pretty decent. One of those manifests in the tone that I use when I talk to myself, particularly when I'm stressed. Years ago, before I was practicing, I used to grind. And when I was anxious, I'd be like, oh, what's the matter with you, Julia? Get over it. Clench teeth. I don't do that so much anymore. Occasionally it arises. But when I'm really stressed and I'm really anxious, I take on the tone. I think I'll call it the grandmothers, the tone of the grandmothers. And I say things like, oh, oh. And using today's mantra, today's sentiment of loving kindness, I'm now going to bring forward a thought that encourages me. Julia, you are experiencing a great deal of uncertainty right now. You are equal to this task. You are strong to stand before not knowing. You have learned to keep your eyes wide open. You no longer turn away. You face these fears. You know what it is, Julia, to stand at precarious edges and notice the strawberries. That was our sentiment of metta yesterday. Meaning, you know what it is to be in the middle of a dumpster fire and enjoy a butterfly landing on your finger. Today, I'd like to share with you an image, this picture. You can look at this. Can you see His Holiness, the Dalai Lama? I have these beautiful cards of sayings from His Holiness, the Dalai Lama. And this one has to do with meditative concentration. And we've been talking a little bit about not grinding, not pushing, noticing when the expectation, that inner voice insisting you should be farther along, you should know better, you shouldn't turn to negative habit energy. What's the matter with you? And we're working on that self-talk, that inner critic, to try to begin to bring forward some nurturance, some encouragement, some understanding, kindness. And one of the things the Dalai Lama says on one of these meditative concentration cards is this: if you force yourself to stay in meditation when concentration is weakening, it will exhaust the mind, and meditation will become faulty. When the mind has reached complete absorption, end the session. It is best to do many short meditation sessions in a day. If you've practiced with me for a minute, you'll know that I encourage the reality that nothing in your life lives outside mindfulness. Everything about your life can be a source of meditative practice. Everything. Today, we're going to simply play with tone and just notice your tone throughout the day. And again, the practice really is not only to notice the tone and to notice the conditions supporting that tone, but to notice the propensity to judge. There I go again. Right? Instead of, wow, ooh, would you look at that? That's where that instrument of peace is so valuable, is it suspends the momentum of judgment the minute we feel it arising. So for instance, I'm waiting on phone calls from a couple of medical clinics looking for guidance. And there's a couple of things that happen that I notice in my own habit energy. One is I can really engage in a dog and pony show, and it's all about bargaining. So if I play nice, nice, and da 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 da, just all nice and nice compliments, all acquiescing and so forth, maybe I'll get really good service. It's a super transactional, somewhat insincere way of interacting with people. The other habit energy I have is to get really short and biting and annoyed and guided by that. Neither of these is very effective. And so my practice is to watch my tone and to try to be as sincere and as real as possible. And when I find myself leaning in either of my habits, I'm either doing the dog and pony dance or I'm yipping and snapping like a little dog. I'm either dancing or I'm barking, right? When I notice myself going in either direction, rather than getting all judgmental, I breathe and I say, wow, would you look at that? Look at me going into that song and dance. Let's breathe, Julia. Let's just bring that back. We don't have to interact with people transactionally. You don't have to bargain anything. Just be real. Ooh, look at you getting all annoyed, Julia. You're not getting what you want. You're not getting what you expected. Okay. Take a minute. Give that voice. Let the person know. If you'll excuse me for just a moment, I'm going to take a breath. I'm feeling annoyed. I'm feeling irritable. And I don't want to unskillfully project that energy. How many people do you think the person on the other end hears that from? What a thing to experience. It helps me calm down. It models the way that I want to be treated. It models the way I treat others. And lo and behold, it might actually shift somebody else's defenses, wake them up a little bit for the moment. Who knows? Regardless, I don't go into any kind of habit energy that I'm going to regret. That's the most important thing. Would you look at that? It's so different than, oh, what's the matter with me? And friends, we're all humans here. And I'm not talking to your minds. I know you know this. I'm talking to your hearts. No one wants to experience discomfort, confusion, pain, bewilderment, loss. No one wants that. Everyone's going to experience it. No one wants it. And we have all kinds of hustles and maladaptive ways of coping, and we all have really wise and impeccable ways we cope too. Because everybody wants to have happiness and ease, wonder and joy, connection and belonging. Everyone. What are the conditions in your life fueling the manner in which you speak that carries a tone of negativity that's potentially harmful and even violent? Added to that are your judgments. Can you take a moment, lean back? Wow, would you look at this? Look at my capacity to be aware. Look at my capacity to be curious. Look at my growing ability to soften my tone. Look at my growing capacity to be open to these practices and this new way of showing up to my life. Look at all the ways I'm not reacting habitually, but instead I'm learning to respond in new ways. Friends, what I've just shared with you are thoughts that encourage. What are some thoughts coming alive within you that would encourage you to keep practicing, to keep going, to keep experimenting? Try things on. Dare to make a mistake and get it wrong and go, whoop, that didn't work. Okay, moving on. Remember, friends, the invitation to explore one's tone is not to become a police officer patrolling your own voice and even its own narration. There's nothing punitive happening here. This is a means by which we explore the conditions of our lives for no other purpose than to encourage ourselves away from harmful acts of engagement that we may have never even thought about before, toward ways of engaging with ourselves and by extension others that are more connecting, more honest, more real, more humble, more open. Imbued with peace. This is a tall aspiration. And every single effort, big and small, that we make toward this aspiration is a beautiful seed of loving possibility. I'll end our practice today with the words of Thich Nhat Hanh. There is no way to peace. Peace is the way. There is no way to peace. Peace is the way. May you trust the wisdom of your own bodhicitta, and may it guide you to your own peace. Thank you, friends. So today there was a wonderful opportunity where a Sangha member very, very lovingly, jokingly, tossed a little passive aggression my way. And I love it because I want to demonstrate for you, whenever you feel like things are coming at you, you can catch them. Ooh, caught, yikes. That one was going for my head and I caught it. And then this belongs to you. And you can put that on the balaklohe between you and somebody else, or you can give it back. Remember, you don't have to meet it with equal hostility. Somebody throws something, you catch it. You don't have to throw it back. That's just more of the same, but you catch it and remind people, this, I think, is yours. It's just a wonderful little action, little wise action. Friends, your homework for today is to just simply notice your tone throughout the day, just as a friendly exercise and an exploration of curiosity, and just notice the conditions around it. That's it. That's all you have to do. Tomorrow we meet at 11:30 in the morning, online only. Thank you, everybody in the sanctuary, for blessing that beautiful space. And thank you to our wonderful Luma for helping to set up. And thank you, everybody, for cleaning up and helping Lo put everything away. So tomorrow we'll meet online only, and we'll continue our conversation about wise speech. Now, if there's anybody in community who has a specific question or a specific thought about speech that you would like me to address at some point during the month, don't hesitate to reach out to me. If you have a particular, tripping point, something about your speech that trips you up, or something about somebody else's manner of speech that just hooks you in, go ahead and send me an email. And we can chat about that, and I'll find a way to bring that into a practice for this month. I want to remind everybody that we record these sessions so you can return to the recordings. Remember, the only thing that's recorded is the meditation and Dharma offering. Our community sharing is kept confidential and private. We've got an enormous amount of content out there. You can find us on our website, which Lo has posted in the chat. We have a podcast and we have a YouTube page. Everything is offered freely, and it is there to be of service to your practice. Monday mornings at 9 a.m., we have Monday morning meditation. And I do ask that people register for it and make some kind of dana offering. It is an offering that we provide as a means of supporting the community and supporting the space. There are times that I do lots and lots of free things, and there are lots of times where I just encourage people to engage in generosity as a way of supporting the overall mission and our community. So I'm grateful, grateful, grateful for that. For this month, in those Monday morning meditations, we are going to be talking about and working with regret. And there's a very specific Buddhist practice, the Passaddhi practice, that works with the 5 R's of regret. And so you can learn all about that on Monday mornings. If you want to just receive the recordings, you can also register just for those. On Saturday, we have a Reiki sound bath. It's available online only. All of our in-person options are sold out. This is a wonderful, wonderful opportunity to engage in restorative healing, to really intentionally give the body some rest, and to receive energetic healing from Raven and me. And Lo, am I forgetting anything? I think we got that right. Yeah, okay. Let's go ahead, friends, and end our practice today with a dedication of merit. Today we heard from a beloved Sangha member making reference to taking refuge with music. I love that. That just landed so sweetly and softly in my heart and mind today. So I can't help but present a question to community. In what way is your own mind and body seeking refuge today? Maybe it's in community in a recovery Dharma practice. Maybe it's in communion with various saints that appear in the form of trees or flowers or vegetable garden. Maybe you're taking refuge in a healing bath. Maybe you're taking refuge at your job and interacting with people in a kinder, softer way. The ways in which we can take refuge are limitless. And so I encourage you to take refuge today with intentionality, with awareness, with a heart and mind wide open. And I'd like to dedicate our practice far and wide by just chanting one time to the 3 jewels, the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. Of course, this is a place of pristine refuge. And the chant simply means, with a wide open heart, I bow to the Buddha, to the Dharma, and to the Sangha. Namo Buddhaya. Namo Dharmaya. Namo Sanghaya. Have a wonderful day today, friends. May you be safe. May you be joyful. May you stay curious. And may small wonders get your attention and bring a smile. We'll see you next time. Namaste.